and welcome to Culture here on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober. Thank you for joining me. Today on our show, we focus on the Haifa Film Festival and discuss some of its most notable films. And we'll hear about the future plans for Banksy's Dismaland. In Haifa, the 31st Annual International Film Festival is taking place these days with screenings from around the world. The festival also drew esteemed guests such as documentary director Claude Lanzmann and Iranian director Mohsen Makhmalbaf, who also acts as head of the jury for the Israeli competition. With me in the studio to tell us more about the festival and the films in it is film critic Benjamin Tobias. Thanks for coming in, Benjamin.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for taking the time away from watching films in Haifa. I know it's a hard job, but somebody has to do it. So there are several films, obviously, in the festival this year. There are several festivals in Israel in general, and I'm curious, how do you think the Haifa Festival compares to others?
Well, what's interesting about the Haifa Film Festival, well, as you said, it's one of the three biggest film festivals in Israel, which traditionally go to the three biggest cities. There is Jerusalem Film Festival, Haifa Film Festival, and Dok Aviv, which is about documentaries in Tel Aviv. I think that Haifa, which is the smallest town, has this last year's the biggest festival. I think it has to do with the fact that it's a more international city in many ways, in the sense that you have a Mediterranean atmosphere, so guests feel better to go there than to go in Jerusalem. Jerusalem Film Festival also had a lot of bad luck last year, for example.
Historically, I always felt that Jerusalem was the stronger festival. But in recent years, it's becoming, I don't know, the focus is shifting to Haifa, and I'm not saying it just because I grew up there.
Yeah, so again, I think that it has to do with the fact that, again, it's a more quiet city. It also comes in Sukkot, in Israeli holiday, that people are trying to see what to watch and what to do for. So for the Israeli public, it's the most important film festival. Maybe if you will ask filmmakers, so they will tell you that the Israeli competition in Jerusalem is still a bit more important. But Haifa is catching up because they really...
How does it compete internationally?
Well, internationally, if we must be honest, Israel doesn't have an international film festival in the scale of Cannes or even in the scale of Lucarne or smaller film festivals. It has to do that still Israel is a province in the sense, but for Israeli films, it's a very important platform, and it's also a very important platform from Israeli cinephiles. I mean, for us, it's for cinephiles like me, it's the only chance to see on a big screen either classics.
A lot of these films are not going to get...
Yeah, they are not going to get... Most of the film, 90% of the films don't get released afterwards, and it's okay because Israel is a small country, and still, for art house lovers, it's a treasure.
Yeah, all right, so let's talk about some films. Let's focus on the Israeli competition. I think it's the most interesting one. What's in the bag this year?
Well, what's interesting is we have 7 Israeli films. All of them are first films, which drew some critique because Israeli film fans love first-time directors. Afterwards, to get a second film is more difficult. I have seen 2 of these films, which are also the most buzzed film in the competition, which one of them is Baba June, which is the film that won last week the Ophir Prize, or the Israeli Oscar for Best Film. A small film, a nice film. I think that it will be a hit. I don't know if after he receives the Ophir, the Israeli Oscar, it will receive also the prize in Haifa. And the second one...
People might think it won enough awards, maybe now it's
something like that. And now also it has, you know, the baggage of being, you know, the representative to the Oscars, so it's less of a festival kind of film. It's a small, nice film about father and son. And you have
an Iranian background. It's interesting because the head of the jury, as we said, is Makhmalbaf, the Iranian director. He has a film that speaks his language.
Yeah, of course, which will be very interesting to see what he thinks about this film. I mean, it can charm him and it can also turn him off. It's a film that happens in Israel in the 70s, and also I think it's very interesting for an Iranian man seeing where the Jews fled from Iran to Israel, what happened with them. So it's a film with an interesting perspective. The story is a bit more old-fashioned. I think it will be a hit with the crowd. I don't know if in the festival. The other film that is also very buzzed, which was also already shown in Cannes, is Afterthought, or Upstairs, Downstairs. stairs.
Right.
It's a film that have several names, which also bring the confusion, and it's a film that is very Haifa-esque. I mean, we don't see a lot of film about Haifa. This is a film about one guy going down the stairs of the Mount Carmel, the other guy going up the stairs, and everybody that has visited Haifa has seen those stairs, and it's a very unique film. It reminds a bit films of Godard. It's very art house, but still humoristic. Has a very Haifa vibe. So I think that maybe, you know, with the vibe, people will know to appreciate it. I think it might be what we call a sleeper hit, not a box office success, but a sleeper hit, because really it has some funny moments, some absurdist moments, which remind us of French New Wave, Godard, Tati a lot, etc.
All right. Other than the Israeli competition, what are some of the other highlights that we can use the opportunity to watch in the festival? So
since it's a very big festival with, I think, something like 200 films, we you know, each one searches for what he sees. So me as a cinephile, I always watch and see what was in the other big festivals. So we have, for example, films that were in the Cannes Film Festival and weren't shown to the public. One of them, which I already saw and is magnificent, is a Homesman. It's a Western by Tommy Lee Jones, which was in the official competition a year and a half ago. So it's also a film that was supposed to be released to the white public, wasn't released, and I understand why. It's more like a classic Western with a feminist take. The hero there is Hilary Swank, and it's a beautiful, very allegoric Western, a film that you don't see its kind. I really like Tommy Lee Jones, not only as an actor.
Gains a lot from being watched on the big screen.
There is a beautiful cinematography by Rodrigo Prieto. We have also from Cannes this year, we have two films that were talked about. One, the La Tête Haute, which was a French film, and we have also Tale of Tales, which is a film by Matteo Garrone, which did
spectacular visuals.
Spectacular visuals. It's contested. The film, because it's a film based on medieval tales. It takes an ironic look on them, but still, it's an interesting film. I must say that if we are talking about cinemas in terms of territories, one territory is Italian cinema in this festival. So we have The Tale of Tales, which is a movie in English but still very Italian, reminds very much Fellini, and the other one is, which I saw, which was I was also impressed. Simon Hayek is doing great things in the movie.
Hearts or brains or
something like that. Heart of a Monster. I mean, it's a very visual, strikingly film. And the other one, Italian film, is a very interesting film named Antonia, about a known poet in Italy in the 30s, in fascist Italy. Also very interesting. Another territory which is interesting is South America this year. There are a lot of movies from South America, Empresses of the Serpents. And again, there is a new movie of Peter Greenaway, which was supposed to be a guest and he missed his flight. It's another story. You have a lot of things to watch from and a lot of chances. Also, I would propose to catch Rams, which is a film from Iceland, about two brothers in Iceland. So as I said, you have really a lot of
large variety.
A large variety. You have also Hollywood films.
In previous years, it was always a good opportunity to catch some classics. You know, there was always a retrospective of someone.
I must say that this year I am a bit disappointed about the classics. There are classics shown. We have Rocco and his brothers from Pasolini, and we have some films from Orson Welles, The Idea of Shanghai, and a documentary about him. But again, last years we have full retrospectives about directors, all the films by Truffaut or by Kubrick. This year we don't have something like that, but we do have a retrospective for the guests that are coming. For example, Makhmalbaf and Claude Lanzmann, and of course I think all of us should see Once in a Lifetime Shoah, which is a masterpiece of Claude Lanzmann, although it's not an easy film to watch.
I think you can only fit it once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's something like that. You can be cynic. It's long filmed, but still you turned out from it a changed man.
You know, our journalist Benjamin Laswif actually met with Mohsen Makhmalbaf in the festival, asked him a little bit about Israeli cinema and Israeli politics. Let's see what he had to say.
I like Israeli cinema more than Israeli politician, because the cinema of Israel is more related to the real life of Israeli people. I can see real life of Israeli more in their cinema than the voice of their politician. Also the same in Palestinian cinema, also the same in Iranian cinema. Let's forget politics and have a dialogue through of our art, through of our cinema.
All right, so definitely, I support that view of letting filmmakers speak.
It also coincides with his humanistic cinema. I mean, this is the way he shoots film, and it's also a very political statement as an Iranian cinema, Iranian exile, to come and judge in the festival.
Yeah. Claude Lanzmann also spoke to Benjamin Lasso. He's the receiver of Lifetime Achievement Award. Let's see what he said about Israel.
I never wanted to live in Israel, but I spent all my time making movies about Israel and the Jewish people. I was always loyal to Israel. I never betrayed Israel. On the contrary, it's Israel that drives me to make cinema, and it's the cinema that drives me to Israel.
All right, Benjamin, always a pleasure to have you, and thanks so much. Go back to Haifa, watch some films.
Yeah, I'm running to Haifa.
All right, let's now turn ourselves to Haifa. With us from the festival is Yaron Shamil, member of the festival's selection committee. Hello, Yaron. Thanks for being with us.
Hello, Dad. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So tell me, what do you think makes the Haifa Film Festival so special?
Well, the film festival, the Haifa Film Festival is like a huge candy shop of films. You come into the festival and you have to choose your favorite candy between more than 100 international films. They're all in premieres. And most of them, 99% of them, the only place you would be able to watch them is here on the screen at Haifa.
Right, and there are different competitions in the festival. The head of the jury, as we said, for the Israeli competition is Iranian director Mohsen Makhmalbaf, pardon me. You know, I'm curious to hear, how did this come about?
Well, this sounds almost like a plot for a science fiction film, right? Because he's not only coming as our guest in the festival, he's coming as the chairman of the jury for the Israeli film feature competition. And he is giving here a masterclass, and his visit is published through all the media. And he is the most respected and almost considered the father of Iranian cinema. Of course, he lives in exile, but we have him here. He's a wonderful person, and we are very proud.
Well, he's not alone here. We also spoke of legendary French documentary director Claude Lanzmann, who's getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. Why did you choose to give him the award now?
Well, Lanzmann celebrated his 19th birthday. And we thought this is a right moment to commemorate this man's lifetime achievement through documenting and holding alive in a way that nobody did before the memory of the Holocaust and explaining to us how the Holocaust could have happened. We're doing a retrospective of his films, and he's attending all the screenings and answer questions from the audience.
Very special experience. Now, the festival is one of the annual highlights in the city of Haifa. I remember it well growing up there. How is the spirit of the city, how is it reflected in the festival?
Well, Haifa is a very secular city. And I think that the fact that Haifa is secular and the ambience is easygoing, and it's a mixture of Arabs, Jews, Muslim, Christians, and everybody is here living in a kind of non-committed ambience to holy places, etc., gives this festival a very, very pleasant feeling and atmosphere.
I'm sure it does. Yaron, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you. Come to the festival.
Definitely will. Now we turn to Maya Margit, who's joining me here in the studio to talk about something else, not the Haifa Film Festival, but Banksy's Dismaland, or should we say post-dismaland, something of that. Hi, Maya.
Yes, hi. They also call it the Bemusement Park, actually, because it's a mock attraction park, and it's the latest art project by the famous artist Banksy.
So, but it's done. It's over.
It's over.
What's going to happen now?
Now what's going to happen, so the news is that the theme park is going to be dismantled, and they're going to use all the timber and the fixtures from the giant installation to send to the where migrants are arriving in Calais, which is in France. And there are basically thousands of migrants arriving there over the past few weeks, and this is part of the wider migrant crisis that's hitting Europe at the moment. So all the reusable material will be taken from there and sent to Calais.
It's interesting because I remember there was a piece in the Bemusement Park that dealt with these migrants, so it's nice to see that he's able to support them. Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you.
That's it from us for today. I hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be back tomorrow with another one, so please join us again.